And this is another video on HK foot placement package. So during the update from 1.0 to 1.5, we have changed some things. First thing is, you can see now we actually allow you to choose the layer and name. That's all is the change in this variable field. Then of course we had to do some custom serialization using the custom editor, and we added another one which is for disabling IK. So for this demo, actually we don't have any jump start animations, but for more advanced third-person controllers there's usually a jump start and then a falling idle. So for jump start you could add it in here and then set the layer to what you want and the name of the state, which might be jump start. But in this case we don't have any of that. So the major update is our foot placement used to be quite jerky, and you can actually see the changes video I've made, so you'll see what I'm talking about. So on stairs it used to be slightly snappy, so we have got like a small algorithm which makes it super smooth now, and that's why you don't see any speed. So there's no body positioning speed or foot positioning speed, that's removed and it will not come back, of course. But what's added is this feature. So it was at the release of 1, it was only in pending, we were working on it, but now it is released. So we have these settings that were not there before. The first setting is slope leaning amount. Now this is the amount of leaning, so the angle is basically just set as an inverse to the spine by adding the spine's own rotation. If you change this, it's gonna decrease the angle using a lerp function. So it's like a multiplier. If you make this 1, it's gonna give you more results, more amount. It's like, yeah, you can see how the name suggests, it's the amount. Then you have max slope, meaning that's the maximum angle your slope can go. So even if I set this to anything big, too big, it's gonna clamp it in this. So let's have a look at how that works. Let's bring it to this place. This is gonna give us a good slope amount, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So if I raise this high, you can see the maximum is 45 angle, even though it might not look like 45 angle, but because of the additions and things, it's quite effective though. Because if you just make this 1, so see how it's all clamped. It does clamp, but it's not really 100% accurate by the angle. Max slope, meaning that's why it's not the angle, it's just like a multiplier as well. So you can see you get something like that. And if I just set this to 10, and you can see it doesn't go above that maximum, so you can make, so for setting it to 1, then you have to make this okay. You can see now it just doesn't go. So you're getting the same results with 45, and these are just 2 sliders which you need to modify and tweak to get to the result you were looking for. So that's the 2 settings. The next one is the ignore velocity dependency. That's very simple. So it's just gonna ignore the velocity. By default you have to use our function, an exposed function, which is called set calculated velocity, from another script. Currently it's the player script which sends in its speed. So if it's walk speed, it sends in 2. If it's this one, then sends that one, and all that stuff. I think, yeah, it also sends crouching speed. So it uses the function and sets the velocity. But if you don't want to do that, then if you click this, it's just gonna look at the slope and apply it by default. But then you can see it's way less because you need to then change the amount again. So you can see that modifying these values, you get the results you're looking for. If you clamp it to 0, there's no changes and all that stuff. So that's our new settings. And the last 2 enums. So slope lean type, the type you want to select for slope leaning. There's disable. Disable means nothing is gonna happen, which means if you don't want slope velocity based spine leaning, no spine leaning you want, then you should set it disabled, because many cases people don't need it. You can see it just stopped it. So then average angle by feet is usually the one we use, and that's why by default we'll get this one. But there are 2 other options as well. Angle detected by ground check. Now it's not really a ground check in our case. We use a raycast downwards, so this line here that you'll see, the straight line going, that's the line that actually gets the normal of the surface and then converts it to an angle. That's the angle background check. You'll see it also works. So it does work. If you run, you can see it does have some effect, but if you increase it, then you can see it changes. But ignoring the velocity dependency will give you all results. So usually you enable it and modify the settings. So final settings is the axis. Now you can see for our character, we modify the first spine. So if you have like the spine in the geometry, no, skeleton, here's our spine. This is the spine that we're looking at. If you set this to global, you will know what axes you need for rotating on the axis of your character. So as you can see, this is the red axis pointing that side, which means to do this type of rotation this way, like this. You'll see when I do this, it says this is the red one, so this is going to rotate the body this way. So our script can use IK targets and of course override it. But if I change it right now to y-axis, it's going to start rotating this way, which is not the one we're looking for, and z-axis would be like this, you know, from this side. And if you want this behavior, then you select X. Now different characters actually have different spine axes. You can see this one has a good one. It's just as you would expect, a normal one, forward pointing forward, upwards, and backward. But some characters have messed up pivots, like this might be the green one, that might be the other one, and others. So it depends on your character, and it does work. So let me have a look and show you what I mean. Yeah, so you can see how he's twisting his body. Instead of rotating downwards, he's twisting left, as you can see, left and right. And that's cool, but it's not the behavior you're looking for when it's still cleaning. So Axis will always work for you. So that's pretty much it for all our settings in the new update. So that's the differences and settings explained, and see you in the next video.